Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel. I will still continue to request you to subscribe to our channel so that we can continue growing together as we have always supported this channel. Click the notification bell and like our videos. Please help us share them to reach many people. And again, those who support us, receive my gratitude. May God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenya Kwanza government has got penchant of creating a problem. And once they have created that problem, they are on a blaming spree, looking for everyone and grabbing everyone to blame. And they have realized that the two people who are really soft in their mouth and sweet in their mouth when they eat, it's like a soft music. It's Raila Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. They are not tired of it. They started during the campaigns. They still perpetuate this hogwash, if you allow me to call, of blaming people for their problems. Recently, William Ruto blamed the judiciary. In fact, threatened and intimidated judges. They said it was Uhuru Kenyatta who is sponsoring some people to go and sabotage his agenda. And they also dragged in Raila's name. Now, after the statements received a lot of backlash and it backfired on them because the Law Society of Kenya, judges, opposition, and very many bodies condemned and castigated William Samoei Ruto. They have realized that they were testing waters. And today William Ruto was on Twitter trying to justify himself. But one thing that has shocked me is that amid the support that very many people came in unity to give Madam Koome and the entire judiciary, one man is carrying them, and that is Raila Amolo Odinga. And they have decided to draw to choreograph another narrative because they have just realized that Raila is supporting the judiciary and they didn't want that. I want us to read these two tweets from Cleopas Malala and Dennis Itumbi, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Dennis Itumbi took to his Twitter and said, "Eti Raila Odinga supports judicial orders to stop housing project. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. The former PM is chasing deals to help build and deliver the affordable housing project. He not only believes in it, he is also seeking a chance to play a part in the delivery of the great idea." Hashtag judicial impunity. That is Dennis Itumbi. And I want you to just read it very quickly and tell me what you think of it. When he did this tweet, I love two people who just responded very fast. One person called Mr. Bright told Itumbi, "Hata wewe si unaona the entire tweet looks foolish and more of a lie." You know, even if you want to lie, try to package your lie. There is something called packaging. Those who do marketing, you know what I'm talking about. Packaging is very important. The way you even package yourself when you go for interviews. Well, anytime you do something that you know will help you, you have to package, including a lie. If Itumbi wanted to convince people, not unless he's targeting foolish people. But if you're targeting brighter people who are wiser enough, you need to at least package your lie. This is why this Mr. Bright is saying, "Siata wewe unaona the entire thing it looks foolish and full of lies." Then this other person called Caroline is saying, "And this information will help your clients Mama Mboga and Boda Boda. How again? They are currently unable to afford uniform for their children who return to school next week. Care to comment? Oh, and please exclude history from why you can't. Thank you." This person is simply reminding Dennis Itumbi that the Mama Mbogas are soon taking the children to school and the cost of education is just too high. Everything is expensive, including the uniforms. And he's asking Itumbi, "So how is this going to help your Mama Mbogas? How?" And then he's telling him, "Nikikuliza hii swali, don't bring in history. The history here is ati kwa sababu ya Uhuru Kenyatta, kwa sababu we inherited a dilapidated economy. In other words, she is telling Itumbi, you have misplaced priorities and you have gone to this stupid thing of blaming people when you're supposed to look at your problems. But then, going back to the tweet, he's saying that Raila supports the housing levy. To confuse people that Raila is only but pretending. Cleo Malala is saying this, that for the longest time that Raila Odinga has played his politics in Kenya, he has fashioned himself as the champion of democracy and good governance. He has deceived the world throughout his life, spanning over 8 decades, that he makes sacrifices for the sake of the masses. Raila has never fought for liberty for any Kenyan. It has always been for his selfish interest. If you connect the two, you will realize that there is a meeting point. Itumbi says that Raila wants to gain from the housing levy. Malala says Raila has never sacrificed for any other person but for himself. So do you know they are trying to tell people that Raila is doing politics for self-aggrandizement? I love using that term. Let me remind you again, when Raila shocked people with the G2G oil deal, and they were confronted to give us documents that indicate that they signed a deal with the Gulf countries, the entire Kenya Kwanza brigade came out telling us, and I remember Kimani Chungwa was really chased on social media when he started saying that Raila was looking for a contract with the G2G and that is why he's now coming up, he didn't get the G2G. Anytime you ask the Kenya Kwanza team to explain why they are doing something, anytime you catch them with their hands in the cookie jar and you push them into a corner, they resort to blame game, oh Raila wants this, Raila wants that. But having said that, ladies and gentlemen, my point is these people are scared about Raila Amolo Odinga supporting the judiciary, coming out to support Koome. In this podcast, I want to give you only 3 reasons why the entire Kenya Kwanza team are scared of Raila's support to the judiciary. Number 1, it has exposed their lies and they are afraid that the relationship between Raila Amolo Odinga and the judiciary might improve. Remember when they were campaigning in 2022, William Ruto took advantage of 3 mistakes that Uhuru Kenyatta did. 1, Uhuru had denied the judiciary sufficient money to help them run that department. There were a backlog of cases, and the then Chief Justice David Maraga did not take it kindly. And with that, he made Raila suffer from it because they were together with Raila, yet he had a bad relationship between him and the judiciary. Number 2, he refused to appoint into offices the judges that were supposed to be appointed in the appellate court, the courts of land and environment, and the courts of labor and relations. And he said that courtesy of intelligence from the NIS, some judges had questionable characters. When William Ruto was campaigning, he went and signed a deal with the judges and he told them, number 1, he would increase some money, give them some kitty so that they run smoothly. And of course, I think he has added them some money. He also said he would appoint the judges that Uhuru Kenyatta refused. And immediately he was sworn into office, he appointed those judges. So he took advantage. And because Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta were campaigning together, Raila bore the brunt or carried the burden of Uhuru's mistakes, of Uhuru's sour relationship between him and the judiciary. Now, when Raila comes out to support the judiciary, they feel that this will make their relationship, a cordial one. And this might affect what will happen in future. After Uhuru Kenyatta had clashed with the judiciary, Raila suffered because in the ruling about BBI, the judiciary was mad. The Supreme Court was really mad about In fact, the entire the judiciary was very mad at Uhuru Kenyatta, and there was no way the BBI would go through. It could not. And so both Uhuru and Raila suffered. Now, this has really exposed them, because the software of Raila Amolo Odinga and the software of William Samoei Ruto has been exposed here. William Ruto has always, carried himself in a way that you'd think he's a saint. Remember, they were saying Raila is an antichrist. Now it is coming out very clear. William Ruto is not the Christian we knew, because the Bible says we need to look at the fruits. Is William Ruto manifesting characters of a man who is saved? No, he's not. They had told the judiciary that Raila was against the judiciary. Now Raila is the one who is coming in their defense to protect them. And in fact, he told William Ruto, you have crossed the red line. So this has exposed them, and that is why they want to come out and tell people Raila is lying. They say Raila is not genuine. Number two, this has come to reveal the magnanimity of Raila Amolo Odinga. Magnanimity is a character of working with your nemesis, working with your enemies. The judiciary has ruled against Raila in 2017, in 2013, in 2017, in 2022. They also ruled against the BBI. And so Raila has really suffered in the hands of the judiciary. And so they expected, I think Ruto Camp thought, that when they decide to attack the judiciary, Raila would be bitter and he would not come to the defense of Madam Koome. Remember, Madam Koome even did the worst by telling Raila that while he was looking for justice, he was on a wild goose chase. That all the prayers that he gave to the Supreme Court were hot air. Those terms are very painful when you feel that your victory is being taken away. So with this, they thought Raila would be mad at the judiciary, at Koome, but Raila was the first person to condemn Ruto's attack. So it has really backfired on them. Raila has worked with Moi after detaining him for 9 years. He worked with Kibaki after robbing him of his victory. He worked with Uhuru Kenyatta. And now there's a sense in which he has decided to call off demonstrations for William Ruto to achieve his agenda. For those who follow this channel, the statesmanship in Raila's spirit and software is good for people because he does not want blood to shed, but it is wrong because Raila will never ascend to power if he still manifests the statesmanship. There are people in this country who can kill everyone so that they become president and rule their family. If it means mimi na bibi yangu na watoto. Kuna watu ambao wataua kila mtu na wabaki. That is not Raila Amolo Odinga. Whether it is good or bad depends on how you look at it. So it has really revealed the magnanimity, and so they don't want it. It has really, backfired on William Ruto because it has exposed and ashamed William Ruto. When William Ruto took oath of office, he swore to protect our constitution. But now, Raila, who was not given power, is the one who is protecting our constitution. When you juxtapose the two, Raila is acting like a president because it is the president who is supposed to protect our constitution. Do you know why Raila has got the penchant of and a history of fighting and protecting our constitution? He understands the pain. Very many people don't understand. For people in my age, we didn't really witness the Mwa Kenya. Someone was telling me that during the one-party state, mungeambiwa hakuna kukaa watu watatu, wazee wanaelewa. It was bad. And people had to fight. Some had to shed blood for the second liberation. Raila was detained for 9 years. And so he understands the pain of fighting for a constitution. He understands that when we go back to the Nyayo era, then we will be doomed, because fighting for that change, fighting to expand the democratic space is not a very easy task, especially with the leadership of cowards that we have today. You know, if you remember people like what they call the five bearded sisters, people like Orengo, Anyona, I can't remember all of them, but the history speaks. People were being clobbered with the rungus, the GSU. People were really persecuted. Raila understands. When people like Raila were fighting for the second liberation, William Ruto was busy enjoying with Moi. And I sometimes find it very funny that William Ruto accuses Raila Amolo Odinga as a dynasty. The dynasty that has fought for liberation in this country, and the hustler that was enjoying the trappings of power during the Moi era when they were persecuting people. Who is better off? And this is the reason why William Ruto does not understand the importance of our constitution. He never fought for it. When we were fighting for a new constitution, he opposed it. And that is the reason it has really brought shame to him. Finally, this has brought the capacity in which Raila is fighting for the democratic rights of people. Did you realize that even the Mount Kenya people who did not vote for Raila, anytime the government, like the other day, they were targeting Mount Kenya youths, and Raila spoke against it. Anything that is touching on human rights, whether you voted for Raila, whether you abused him and insulted him, Raila will fight for you, will speak against an injustice, because an injustice to one is an injustice to all, and Raila believes in it. And this is the reason why people like Itumbi and Malala are coming out to castigate Raila, knowing very well that William Ruto has been exposed, and they fear that if the relationship between Raila and the judiciary will be a cordial one, then in the next rulings, things might change. As we speak, it is only Madam Martha Koome who is still enjoying a relationship, a wonderful relationship between herself and William Ruto. The other judges are tired. They are being intimidated. Today, the ruling came about the housing levy. That ruling, that verdict is one that was pronounced out of fear after William Ruto threatened them. The entire judge, they are not very happy, except a few who are still playing tribal politics in it. But they are unhappy, and they are wondering, between Raila Amolo Odinga and Ruto, who is better off? Do you know that if the relationship between the opposition and the judiciary is one that is amazing, in the future judgments, they might just decide that we are not going to rule maliciously against you. And this is the reason why Statehouse is scared stiff. I don't know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, but as always, these are just my thoughts.